now. In a significant intervention, the Defence Secretary Grant Shapps says the UK is considering airstrikes on the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels.
Shapps has said he wanted Britain will not hesitate to take direct action over their attacks on cargo ships in the Red Sea. So we're joined now by Defence Editor at the Evening Standard, Robert Fox. Good morning, Robert. Thank you very much for joining us, particularly on New Year's Day. This is a really significant turn of events. Just explain to us, if you wouldn't mind, what's going on and why it really matters.
What's really going on, there's been now 24 attacks on major commercial shipping in the Red Sea and the area, and that concerns between 12 and 15% of global maritime trade. It has been linked by the Houthi rebels to the events in Gaza, and they say they're attacking the shipping because they're proxies or supported by Israel, of which that is a very thin link in most cases. Britain and America have been discussing how to stop these attacks by drone and very sophisticated Iranian missiles from the Houthi rebels since before Christmas. Now, as of the weekend, the attacks have got much worse, with a very serious attack on a Danish-Singaporean ship bound from Suez to Singapore, missile and assault boats, which the Americans retaliated against. They've got to discuss how to stop them, and the discussion has been maybe they will even have to bomb the Houthi bases on the Yemeni mainland, and that would involve the British and the Americans and very likely the French now.
Robert, I don't mean to put a downer on the new year, but we've got potential confrontation, or indirectly, with Iran. Last night, President Xi Jinping of China said that reunification with the, quote, motherland Taiwan was a historical inevitability. Is 2024 shaping up to be very high risk on the geopolitical front?
Yes, and I think it links to your previous discussion about elections across the world. Actually, it's about 60% of all nation states are going to have some kind of nationwide election. I'm sorry to correct your contributor. Now, this is the kind of thing that we're discussing, the various confrontations, which are 4- or 5-fold, including Ukraine, Gaza, Sudan, which is what people running the elections really don't want. And the mischief makers, the great disruptors from China through to Russia and Iran, sense that, and that's what's going to go on. What I suspect is that security and defence will come into the electoral agenda in a way that many political leaders, including the leaders of the two principal parties in UK, never really wanted.
So if we start to hit these ships in the Red Sea, the Houthi-controlled vehicles, and as you say, their base is also in Yemen, will Iran see that as a direct provocation of that country, and would they necessarily take action against us?
Bev, you're absolutely right. Iran is the key to this, and why they are prosecuting and promoting the Houthis is actually far from clear, because they've made some really extravagant claims, like they want to control or demand a say in how all commercial shipping is run in the Eastern Mediterranean as a whole. And there have been a lot of attacks on bases by Iranian proxies across Syria and Iraq. And in 30 of those bases, there have been British military personnel. This is why we've seen counter-strikes. And the latest thing, as of the last few hours, an Iranian gunboat, an Iranian destroyer, they call it, it's actually a frigate, I think, has appeared in the choke point of the Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandeb. We know there are Russian ships, naval ships there, and Chinese naval ships, and they're not coming to the aid, deliberately not coming to the aid of the very vulnerable international shipping, like the Galaxy Leader, which you're now showing. It started with the Galaxy Leader, by the way. It was taken into port. The crew of 25 mixed nations have been kidnapped. And yesterday they announced, this is the Houthi rebel junta, said they are taking over the Galaxy Leader. So the Houthis and their Iranian backers are ratcheting up at every turn.
Gosh, Thank you, Robert. It's terrifying, actually. It's an awful note to start the year on, isn't it? But beautifully explained. Thank you so much, Defence Editor at Evening Standard, Robert Fox, there. That is the situation that is going to cause potential chaos.